Hello everybody, my name is Alan Lloyd. In relation to the form, it will position itself into the area. The area is 09, 06, 01, 010, 04, 05, 01, 010, 04, 05. In relation to the antenna, the form of 1 will perform itself into network 3. Those things are not available because the antenna is the drawer of the map to know how the sun shines through. If the sun worked out to the clientele, you got to understand the concept of art based upon the element of art by the border. Because the fifth moon will develop the third technology, don't change anything. The relation to the bore of bore 1 F215 by the border is the fifth moon to develop the third technology. In that way, it is 10325. The 10325 is the border of the fifth moon to develop the third technology. In that way, it is the co-finder. For NASA, it is the Teshkaman. The Teshkaman is a lawyer of 3824 by the third on in. Okay. These things are going to take me a while to understand the concept of art based upon the element of design for the protocol. Because each protocol would mark out 3131 by the border of the fifth moon to develop the third technology. In Captain Cook, the transformation of the formula will formulate itself into the bore 2 even based upon the machine. The machine is spelled to F315. The bell to F315 by the border is the fifth moon to develop the third technology. In that way, it is the co-finder. The execution of law based upon the last message of compound to position itself into the acceptance. Once the machine is BE1824 by the border, the third moon will switch off to the mode of the anana. In that day, it is 10325. The 10325 is by the border of the fifth moon to develop the third technology. In that way, it is the co-finder. I'll be back in a minute. So, the performance of network 1 is the audio wave from the machine. The machine is spelled to F315 by the border. The fifth moon will switch off to the mode of the artificial intellectual copy tissue in relation to the form. The form is 1 time 0824 by the border of the fifth moon to develop the third technology. In that way, it is 10325. The 10325 is by the border of the fifth moon to develop the third technology. In that way, it is the co-finder. The co-finder will execute itself into law to heaven based upon the machine. The machine is bell to F315. The bell to F315 by the border is a thick moon to develop the third technology. In that way, it is execution. The execution of law based upon the last message of compound to position itself into the acceptance. Once upon a time, there is no one in to look for the code. It is B5F218. The B5F218 by the border is a thick moon to develop the third technology. In that way, it is 10324. By the border of the fifth moon to develop the minking, it is the co-finder to execute itself into law to heaven based upon the machine. If the machine is spelled to F315 by the border, the third moon will switch off to the mode of the anana. In that day, it is 10325. The 10325 is by the border of the fifth moon to develop the third technology. In that day, it is 10325. The border of the fifth moon will develop the third technology. In that way, it is 10324. For the co-finder to execute itself into law to heaven based upon the machine, it will be the oil tree of 1 on 8. The 1 on 8 for the form of 1 on 8 is design day 10 for the interlude of technology to position itself into the acceptance. Once upon a time, there is no one in to look for the code. It is B12F315. The border of the fifth moon will develop the third technology for the position. In time, when you add Sitscam, the Otolo, you will perform the network of 125. For James Bond, it is the marking mark of the performance of the network for the hungry horse in relation to the sender. The sender would send the sun through by the horsepower to interlude the first technology, because in that day, for the transformers, The horsepower will generate 321. The generation of the fifth moon will develop the third technology. In that day it is 10324. The 10324 is by the position of the army in Sector 3 to actually weigh in the coal cooker. The coal cooker will interlude the first technology. In that day it is 10325. By the border of the fifth moon, by the horsepower, is the generation of the Makanang. Particularly, the understanding of the life cycle will return home to the fortune. The fortune is 3128294. By the machine, it is the Tatranan. Particularly, the understanding of the life cycle will recycle the Atanan. The Atanan is the fifth moon to develop the third technology for Professor Jenny Ponsford. In that day, it is 10324. The 10324, by the border of the fifth moon, will develop the third technology. In that day, it is 10324. The interlude of technology will position itself into the horsepower to generate the milligram. The milligram for the position of the army for Sector 3 will decide to do so in relation to Sir Funk. The equilibrium to share the network of one is the oil wave from the machine. The machine is bound to F31824 by the border. The border is 38214946412841494621. By the spirit of the moon, it will send the sun through. If the sun work out the artillery of the third technology, it will position itself into the acceptance. Once upon a time, there is no one in to look for the code. It is B12F318. The B12F318 by the border is a thick moon to develop the third technology. In that day, it is 10324. For selecting the hygiene, the Instagram will mark itself into the marking mark of one ink system. The formula of 325 is the next co-finder to execute itself into law to heaven based upon the area. Any area based upon the element design for the protocol, it will mark out 2541. The door 10 of the interlude of technology will position itself into the acceptance. Once upon a time, there is no one in to look for the code. It is B5F218. The B5F218 by the border is the fifth moon to develop the third technology. In that day, it is 10325. The 10325 is by the border of the fifth moon to develop the third one in to cold cook the hard copy. To cold cook the hard copy by making the machine will interlude the first tech support coordinator in relation to Elise Reservoir. Elise Reservoir will generate the form of the ABI consultant in relation to the Kaskashakanam. I don't have a brain injury. The ABI will change into the letters of number B5 by the bittery of the binary. That is just a simple thing. The only thing I know is the hexaton. The hexaton of the formula is 050601. By changing the ABFG15294849424 by 1 by 6 by 1 BI by 1 by 6 by 1, it is the bitoram. Oh, I'm correct. I'm really happy what I said. So anyway, okay. Typing things down is very hard. Asking question, problem solving is very hard. So I really need help in the forum, my forum, Gazal Design .xyz community. Later on, when I meet client, I will change the sentence to help the client. But at the moment, I have a lot of clients that I do not want to meet. It will take me many, many years to complete this task. So writing down the task, the shopping list for the task, whatever you want to buy, to eat, to eat, to eat, to poo, to poo, to poo, to eat, to eat, to eat, to poo, to poo, to poo, then you will generate into the form of the diarrhea. In that time, it is the tashkamang. The tashkamang of the lawyer of 3 on 1, 12 on 1, and 4 on 1 by the border is a thick moon to develop the third technology. In that way, it is 10325. The 10325 for the horsepower is a thick generation of law based upon the last message of compound to position itself into the acceptance. Once upon a time, there is no one in to look for the code. It is B5F318. The B5F318 by the border is a thick moon to develop the third technology. In that way, it is 10324. The 10324 is by the border of the fifth moon to develop the third technology. In that way, it is 10324. To design day 10 is the interlude of technology for the position of the musician. No, it's not available. It is the Matashkanam. The Matashkanam, see? Pronunciation will help you guys to understand the concept of art based upon the element design for the protocol. Because in the art school, you will generate into the form of one on time by the Chinese calendar. Each Chinese calendar will formulate into 235 for the 325 of the lunar spirit energy. The lunar spirit energy will generate into 2184946414944641. In that day it is 10324. I cannot meet too many clients. Even in the past when I ran my business, I don't have clients. I go out a lot. Now I don't go out anymore because I'm too old. No, I don't take drugs anymore because I'm too old for that shit. Anyway, in the generation of the form, it will position itself into the area. The area is 0906010205040906010504. In relation to the antenna, when I draw things, the antenna for the bitogram of law based upon the element of law by the border will be in the antenna. The technology for the position will form itself into network 1. For NASA, it is the Tashkamang. The Tashkamang is the lawyer of 3824 by the co-function to find itself into execution. For the news reporter, it is a generation of law by the last message because the component is 3 on time. Each component for 3 on time, 4 on time by the border is the fifth moon to develop the third technology. In that day, it is 10324. The 10324 is design day 10 for the interlude technology for the position. So Dr. T. Sandra, in relation to Sir Funk, he is sharing the network of one for the oil wave in the machine. When he shared that machine, he will generate into the formula. Because the formula is B18246 hex 1 hex 1 hex 1 hex 1 829 hex 1 x1 x1. So when I draw those things in relation to the bitogram of law by the last message for the Asasi 13, you will message the component of 3 on time. For the area code of 3 on 1, 2 on 1, and 4 on 1 by the border, it is the fifth moon that will burst to tears. Okay, scientists, in the laboratory, do you collect things to actually how to make the machine and germinate into one? Because when you do that, you need to waste your money. When you waste your money, you are exporting into a certain degree. What means that? Waste your money. You can't spend too much money. You got to balance the money and index the money. Easy, isn't it? Simple. Just a simple sentence to know how things work and how things does not work. But in the array of the performance for the nurse is an intercourse of the machine. The machine is bound to. My brother Tan's wife is a nurse. But in time, when you do that, you will equalize the math position of physics. Her name is Cindy. The math position of physics is the timer to execute itself into law to heaven based upon the machine. The machine is Bell 2 F318. Bell 2 F318 by the border is the fifth moon to develop the third technology, and in that day it is 10325. The border of the fifth moon will develop the horsepower to generate into 2418 WIP 18294849489 watt WA1. So in that day it is 10 times. The 10 times for the horsepower will generate into the blue. Yes, that is the correct shaft for the horsepower. But in time, when you know how to do the engine in relation to the transformation of engine, I have already uploaded most of those things about the engine on YouTube on a different channel. So Take your time to know how to make the engine. The engine will form into 241. Each engine will formulate into 241482926412849, 26412849264128449. Hexaton is the charm. The manogram. The manogram of 3CFC15 by the border is the fifth moon to develop third technology. In that day it is 10325. The 10325 by the border of the fifth moon is the third technology to position itself into the sun. The sun will work out the manifestation of law based upon the last message of the compound to position itself into the acceptance. Once upon a time, there is no one in to look for the code. It is the Tashkama. The Tashkama is a lawyer of 3825. For the border of the fifth moon, the third technology will position itself into the acceptance. Once upon a time, there is no one in to look for the code. It is B5F318. To design day 10 is the Internon. The Internon is the first technology for the position. In that time, it is 10328. So, anyway. You generate into the bittery of law.